Colby, math.com.
We're dividing decimals on tonight's assignment. We talked in class about when to move the decimal, when you have a decimal in the divisor, and why we move it the way we move it. We'll practice that right now. I've added some red annotation on your homework to help point out make more obvious some of the directions. Please read all the directions. I'm going to do problem letter H with you. H says, and please remember what we talked about in class. There is not enough room to do these problems on that front page. That's why I attached a piece of graph paper. You should be doing every problem on the graph paper, and you should label each problem. If you need more paper, just add more paper. For letter H, we have 40 and 933 thousandths divided by 7/10. I'm already annoyed with the way I did that. Let me fix that. 40 and 933 thousandths divided by 7/10. And I don't want to have to be thinking about how many times 7/10 goes into 4 holes, which is why we want a whole number divisor. So I move the decimal 1 to the right. Makes that 7 holes. I have to do the same thing to the dividend. Move the decimal 1 to the right and line up the decimal in my quotient. Some people like to, at this point, rewrite it. Either way you prefer is fine with me. 7 goes into 4 0 times. 7 goes into 40 5 times, because 5 sevens is 35. When I subtract, I get a difference of 5. Bring down this 9. I know 8 sevens is 56. 8 times 7 is 56. I get a difference of 3. Bring down this 3. See, once we've decided where the decimal goes and lined it up in our quotient, we don't have to think about it anymore. How many sevens in 33? Well, I know 5 sevens is 35, so that's too much. 4 sevens is 28. Subtract, I get a difference of 5. 13 minus 8 is 5. Bring down this 3. How many sevens in 53? 7 sevens is 49. That gives me a difference of 4. But how far do we need to go? Problems A through F tell you to round to the nearest tenth. Problems G through L tell you to round to the nearest hundredth or nearest cent. Our quotient right now is represented all the way up to the hundredths place. But in order to round to the hundredths place, we also need to know the next digit. We need to know what number is in the thousandths place. So we always had 0 thousandths. I'm just revealing the 0. Bringing it down. How many sevens in 40? 5. 5 sevens is 35. And you don't even really need this difference, or you don't need to keep going, because if we have 58 and 475 thousandths, we now have enough information to round to the hundredths place. So we did a little rounding on some of the first homework assignments. Why don't you try to round that to the hundredths place during the pause, and then come back and see how you did.
Paused.
Rounding this to the hundredths place means figuring out which hundredth this is closest to. It's between 58 and 47 hundredths and 58 and 48 hundredths. We have a 7 in the hundredths place. But since the digit to the right, the digit in the thousandths place, is 5 or more, we'll round up to 58 and 48 hundredths. And the answers for A through H are on the left side of your homework, your learning opportunity. And so if you scroll down, you should, even if you choose not to do the puzzle portion, you should at least look and see if your answer is in this answer bank, because if it isn't, then there's an opportunity to go back and check your work. But if you do choose to do the puzzle, H would have the word instruments. So in the H box, you would write the word instruments. And you should have a funny saying by the time you're done if you fill in all the words. If you choose not to do the puzzle part, like I said, still look for, make sure your answer is in the bank of answers, but make sure on your work that you're labeling each problem and making your answer clear so that when we grade it, you'll have an easier time of grading your work, and I'll have an easier time giving you some feedback when I go over your assignment later that day. Thanks for watching the homework help video. I'll see you tomorrow.